Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and welcome to the Fringe Seams. Thank you very much for joining me for today's video. This is a special video and it's a 2-for-1 video because on the one hand it combines a collaboration between myself and my wonderful friends Sam Sullett Sparkle and Catherine Soverton Makery, and it also forms our entry into the new challenge this year hosted by the very lovely Lisbeth from Lisbeth Makes called Blue Threads for ME. So it really was wonderful to be able to combine the collaboration and the challenge at the same time. So I have done a collaboration with my wonderful friends Sam and Catherine before. We made the chocolate notch fringe dress, so I'll link our videos in the description box below. And this year we really want to do another collaboration. So we put our heads together and we came up with the Rivi Shirt, also by Chalk and Notch. So if you have seen Sam's introductory video, she gives a little teaser on what pattern we're going to make, and we all give little teasers about our fabric, but more on that later. But then we realised that all our fabrics had something blue in them, and we thought it'd be a good idea then to put those into the challenge, the Blue Threads for ME, which is a wonderful, wonderful new challenge. So thank you, Elizabeth, for hosting this year. Basically, you can sew, knit or crochet something blue and have your entry in on the 12th of May. This video is going out on the 12th of May, so I wonder, do you have time to sew, knit or crochet something blue before the challenge ends? If not, that's fine. Hopefully there's always next year. But it's a wonderful new challenge to raise awareness for ME, so thank you very, very much, Elizabeth, for hosting this. So as I mentioned, we really wanted to make the Rivi Shirt, which is a relatively new pattern by Chalk and Notch, and I think all of us were really, really taken by it when it first came out. It's got beautiful style lines. There's opportunity for to make a shirt or a blouse and also a dress as well. And it was kind of funny that our collaboration last year was a Chalk and Notch pattern as well. So we all had a few fabrics in mind, but I will hand you over now to past Rachel and she will tell you all about the fabric choices and come back at the end and I will show you my finished Rivi. Hi everyone, so I'm back now to share more details on my Rivi shirt, which of course is the collaboration that I'm doing with the fantastic Sam Sullett Sparkle and Catherine Soverton Makery, my two wonderful, wonderful friends. So I'm hoping by now that you've watched Sam's video on the launch of our little collaboration, and I had teased that there was 2 blue fabrics in my stash that I wanted to make for this collaboration. So one was this one and one was this one. Can you guess which one I'm going to choose? It's this one. Of course it's this one. This beautiful green background with these blue bows. And this is from Hey So Sister in collaboration with Pigeon Wishes. This will go towards another challenge. No prizes for guessing what that challenge is. So this beautiful fabric is going to be put away for another day. So this is going to be the fabric that I'm going to make my Rivi shirt out of, and I'm so, so excited about it. I picked up this fabric at Stitch Festival where I knew that we were going to be doing this collaboration. I was on the lookout for stripes because the Rivi is just made for stripes, but this kind of has stripes, so I thought I might get away with it. So this is going to be the fabric, and wait until you see the buttons. The buttons are from Pigeon Wishes. So this is quite funny because these buttons came in my advent calendar from Sam and Catherine. So I knew I had these beautiful, beautiful green buttons. I'm going to try and show you them without glaring too much. It's beautiful green ones. I love them. So I knew I had these green buttons and I knew I wanted to use them in a project. Then at the Stitch Festival, I knew we were going to be doing the collaboration, myself, Sam and Catherine, and I found this gorgeous fabric, and then I realised the buttons would match. And then I opened up this fabric and realised it was Pigeon Wishes fabric. So talk about the stars aligning for this project. I think this is just going to be fantastic, so I cannot wait to get started on this, and I think you'll agree that these are going to match beautifully. So that is fabric and buttons. Talking about the pattern, I've literally just printed it out. So I got my PDF right here. I'll pop in the picture, the line drawings here. It comes in a blouse and it comes in a dress, and I think you can do short sleeves and long sleeves. I'm going to do the short sleeve blouse. More of a shirt, but never mind. So I'm going to do the short sleeve blouse, and what I'm going to do is I am going to make the sleeves an awful lot shorter. So I like short sleeves, so I'm going to see, can I make the sleeves a little bit shorter, and I will definitely pay attention to the length of the blouse shirt as well because I don't want it too cropped. No way. So looking at sizing, so Chalk and Notch do cup sizes, which is fantastic. So I fall into the AB cup range. So I've made a good few Chalk and Notch patterns now. I've made the fringe dress, obviously. I've now recently made the orchid dress. I've made the max tee. I've made the Farah dress. I think their block really, really fits me quite well. So I know I want to do the A to B cup. And looking at my body measurements, I fall into the high bust and the full bust of an 8. And then I fall into a waist and hip measurement of a 12. However, looking at the finished garment measurements, I definitely, I think the 8 for the bust is fine. And then for the waist and hips, I think I can probably get away with a 10. So I know for my fringe dress, I make an 8 to 10. And I think for my orchid, I make an 8 to 12. But I think I might get away with an 8 to 10 on this, she said, hopefully. So I think I'm going to cut out a size 8 at the bust, grading to a 10 at the waist and the hips. I'll pay particular attention to the length of the shirt, which will be tricky with the yoke and all that good stuff. We'll see how we go. Although I think the length I said is 23, and I think that is okay on me. And then I'll definitely pay attention to the sleeve length, and then we'll see where we go from there. So looking at videos of people who have made this, I think all the instructions are there on where to align the stripes, or bows in this instance. So I'm really, really excited to get started. This is such a fun time in a project where you've got the pattern, you've got the fabric, you've got the buttons, you've got the enthusiasm, and you just want to get going. So I will start, and I will come back to you with some progress. And I'm back, and this is my finished Rivi shirt, and I absolutely love it. So as you can see, this fabric is just perfect. So the green blends in nicely with my walls. Of course, it is my signature green colour, and the little blue bows, of course, are just perfect for the blue threads for Emmy challenge as well. So it was just the perfect pairing. So of course I have seen the fabric that Sam and Catherine are using for their shirts. We had a few sew-alongs together, which was so lovely. It's just wonderful doing challenges with those amazing ladies. Sewing on buttons and sewing buttonholes is far better with company. It really is. So it was just marvellous doing another challenge with you ladies. It really was. And I will link both their videos down below, and I would encourage you to hop on over and have a watch of those as well. I bet they're just going to be spectacular as always. So shall we get down to the nitty-gritty, and I will tell you all about this make. There were ups and downs of this make, I'm not going to lie. So this is the shirt. I decided to make the shirt version. As you will have seen from past Rachel, I was thinking about doing a size 8 grading to a size 10, and I did do that, and I'm pretty happy with the fit. Some people have said that this comes out quite oversized, and I probably could have sized down 1, but I didn't really feel the need to. I think it's absolutely fine as is. I did look at the finished garment measurements, and the finished measurements of the bust for the size that I made, the size 8, is 44 inches, which I think is the same as the Donny shirt, the same size, the Donny shirt that I make as well. So I knew it was going to be relatively okay, and I am very happy with the sizing. I did mention that I wanted to alter the sleeves a little bit, and I did roll them up ever so slightly, more on that later, and then I did add an inch to the length. On the line drawings, which I'll pop in here, it does look like it's going to be very cropped, but I don't think it really is, but I am very glad that I still added on that inch anyway. So I'm 5'9" for reference. So also in the sizing, Chalk and Notch always do bust sizes on their makes, which is really great, and for mine I did the AB cup, which suits me perfectly as well. So shall we go back to the very start of this project? So the cutting out. The cutting out instructions are fantastic, but I'm not quite sure what happened to me when I cut this out originally. So I was looking at this in that the bows are stripes. That was how they were in my head, and I decided it's striped, it'll be absolutely fine, the cutout, because the instructions, the pattern pieces, all show you where to lay the direction of the piece according to the stripes, all that good stuff. It does take a little bit of time to cut out, it really does, because you want to line up all those stripes perfectly. So then I got to sewing it up, and I actually sewed the front yokes to the front bodice, I sewed the 2 back yokes to the back bodice, and I sewed the shoulder seams together. All French seams, I might add. And then I looked at it and I thought, this doesn't look right at all. My stripes aren't going the right direction. So I'll pop in what it did look like. So I sat back and thought, this isn't right. I've done something very wrong. Whatever happened, I went very wrong in the cutting out, and I didn't notice for a long time, and that is entirely on me, not on the pattern at all. I'm not quite sure what happened. I bought 2 meters of this fabric, and I think the pattern calls for about 1.8, so I was really hoping that I could squeeze out the yokes again to recut them properly this time in the way the stripes are actually meant to run. So enter my new friend, the stitch ripper. I had to unpick every single French seam that I had done. If anybody has done that before, yes, my heart goes out to you. It is not fun, but we did it because I was determined to do this properly. So I unpicked all the French seams. I was able just to squeeze out 2 more front yokes and 2 of the back yokes again, properly lining up the bows. So it's not as visible as some Rivi shirts are with the stripes, but you can just see the stripes are going this way and then the front they're going down. So I'm much happier. So basically I recut the pattern pieces and then laid the old pattern pieces on top of them and trimmed off the bit that I had trimmed off while making the French seam. Oh lordy, remind me never to make this mistake again. But we got there in the end, and I'm so delighted that I took the time to do it. So as you can see in this shirt, it's got a beautiful collar. So it's got the upper collar, the under collar, the collar stand and the collar facing. So it's all really nicely tailored. It's just beautiful. I love the construction of this. I did actually hand stitch this in here to have a much nicer finish, and I didn't top stitch because I just didn't think it needed it, but I'm very happy with how the collar went in. Then of course it's got these two beautiful front yokes here with the bows. Of course these are all French seamed. The yokes at the back are just beautiful, the way they cross over, and I did put a little label right in the back as well that I saw on the lovely Rowan's channel. I just had to put that bow label in the back. I think it looks so beautiful. That is a Sarah Hart's label that my wonderful friend Sam kindly gave me at Christmas. So I thought that was, again, very fitting. So moving on to the sleeves, these are all inserted using French seams. So I'd never inserted a French seam in a sleeve before, but it went in beautifully. It does say in the pattern that you need basting stitches, things like that, to ease in the sleeves. I didn't feel I needed to. It went in beautifully. And then you turn up the cuff. I didn't actually remove any length from the sleeve, but I think if I make this again, and I think I will make this again, I would reduce the sleeve by about 1 inch, because you turn it up and then you turn it up again. So I've turned this up more than they ask you to, just to make the sleeve a little bit shorter, which I like on me. Then of course it's got the most beautiful button placket, and I worked very hard to get the bows straight on my button placket. And then I've got these most beautiful pigeon wishing buttons, which I put between the bows. So I did do an awful lot of thinking about this project, definitely. I've got a lovely French seams label on the inside, popping a picture here. I had to use that label, obviously. And then on the length side, I like the length on me, I've got my ash jeans on. And then it's got these beautiful side splits here, and I've got another French seams label here too. So I do love these side splits, because I always have to grade between sizes, between bust and waist. It actually gives that little bit of movement as well at the hips, which I appreciate. So I do really like the side split. I think it's beautiful. So again, the side seams are French seamed as well. But overall, this was a very lovely make. I really enjoyed the construction, despite the little hiccup at the start, which is entirely my fault, having to recut everything. I'm just so delighted with how it came out. It really is a beautiful pattern. So I will of course pop in a few pictures of me modelling this, because it is me made May, and of course I'm going to wear it today. But I'm so happy with how this came out. I have seen some beautiful versions online as well. I definitely will try and make this again, maybe in a stripe. And the dress version is also beautiful. It really is. I know my lovely friend Lynn, she had made a dress version as well, and it is just stunning. So overall, another very successful chalk and notch make. I think their patterns are just fantastic. I really enjoy making them. So that is the end of our collaboration. I had so much fun doing it with my wonderful friends, and I'm also delighted to support the fantastic challenge that Elizabeth set up, Blue Threads for ME. I'm going to enter it on Instagram today. I'm going to mention Blue Threads for ME. I'm going to tag in Elizabeth Makes, and also Tuesday Child Fabrics. And I can't wait to see everybody else's blue entries as well. So as always, thank you very much for joining me today. A massive thank you to Elizabeth for this fantastic challenge, and also to my wonderful friends Sam and Catherine for their collaboration as well. I just had the best time making this shirt, and I'm going to really enjoy wearing it. So I shall leave it there for now. Thank you very much for watching today. If you have any questions on anything I've mentioned, please do leave me a comment in the comment box below. If you enjoyed this video, I would very much love it if you give me a thumbs up, and also please consider subscribing. And I will talk to you all very soon in another video. Take care everyone. Bye.